evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the lovely Goa. Growing media fragmentation has made the role of creative agencies more important in brand communication. For the motion, Prasun Joshi, who's the chairman McCann India, and Partha Sinha, who's the managing partner for BBH. And against the motion, Vikram Sakuja, the global CEO of Maxis, and Anupriya Acharya, the leader, Team Unilever South Asia. All the people who believe in for the motion, please sit on the left. My left, and those people who believe against the motion, please sit on my right.
This whole business of media fragmentation, they have given rise to a mortal fear. Like people are paranoid about one thing, which is measurement and calculation of ROI. Like if we can't measure, if we can't calculate ROI, brand communication will go down the drain. It has given rise to two syndromes. The first syndrome is what I call the Sridevi syndrome, and I will explain it. And the second syndrome is J.M. Keynes syndrome. Like J.M. Keynes as in the Milton Keynes. So Sridevi syndrome, which is my favorite. Disclaimer, I've got nothing against Sridevi, and I think she's a fine actress, and I believe recently she has acted in English wings, which are very good. I haven't watched it. She's a fine actress, but I have seen her initial films. It looks like she believes that since I have taken full money, I must give full performance. So suddenly her eyes will start rolling up, her eyebrows will go up and down, she will go over the top. She doesn't believe in underacting. Because I have taken full money, I have to give full, So this is what happens most of the time with this whole desperation for ROI. So suddenly you go onto a website and you suddenly have to click 7 times on ads to close before you reach the website. Before that, 3 ads have already come from the bottom of the page. 2 ads have started scrolling up, or you wake up in the morning and you hold the Times of India, which you can't really hold, So a half-page ad goes there because you are trying to maximize impact, right? In that process, what happens is, you don't remember the brand, you just remember the irritation. Okay. So Sridevi syndrome is one of the first syndrome that, like irritation. The second point is Keynes syndrome. Keynes once famously said that it's better to be approximately right than precisely wrong. I think we have forgotten the art of being approximately right. We are now desperate to be precisely wrong. And let me explain how. We believe that every time there is something which can be measured, that is right. So therefore, what we have figured out, we will measure likes, we will measure fans, we will measure hashtag following. We all know that those are Russian robos. So somebody has got 1 million fans, so therefore it's fantastic social brand. So we are measuring wrong parameters to create something which is precisely wrong.
First and foremost, we are talking of, I will not get into what is fragmentation. We all know 600 plus channels, 200 plus radio channels, where people are spoiled for choices in terms of the content they can consume wherever they want to consume and whatever they want to consume at any given point in time. So we understand that the consumer is having it, the last laugh and really loving it. The marketers, however, exposing some very real challenges, which is something that we cannot ignore. First and foremost, we are moving from mass audiences to masses of audiences, what I think Partha also talked about. And just to give you a quick example, 10-15 years back, even programs like you are aware, KBC and Kyunki Saas used to get a rating of 20 plus. Currently, the top rated shows are less than 5. They struggle to go beyond 4.5. In fact, ad viewership, we heard yesterday in the conclave as well, with the DVRs coming in and all of that, people are avoiding ads altogether. So a powerful idea beyond a certain point doesn't really make sense, because it is like dying in that clutter of ads, and the ad viewership actually statistically is showing to be dying down. So essentially, why am I talking about masses of audience essentially is that, have you ever thought that who are the owners of these masses of audiences? Frankly speaking, the owners of people who understand these masses of audiences, which is these small groups of many small groups of people, are best understood actually by the publishers and the broadcasters and the content owners, which is why they are successful at what they're doing. They sell to those audiences. And I haven't seen in the last so many years any creative agency trying to make any serious effort in trying to build a long-term, sustainable relationship with the content owners who know these audiences very, very well. And I find that that is a very, very emerging trend and very important for a lot of marketers. So in the Indian context, for example, be it Viacom, Fox, Zee, Star, ETV, and the largest content producer, which is the Bollywood per se, which is the Wire, Dharma Productions, all of that. Are creative agencies really making an effort to go that route? I haven't seen that. The second part is the audience mindset. We are not talking about 5-6 media points now as in yesteryears. We are talking about hundreds plus contact points. So forget TV, print, radio and all, even ambient media, you know, the role which, for example, cafes, shopper marketing, all of that plays. There are so many more contact points, and the way the consumer is consuming media here is very, very different. Yesterday we heard again Harit Nagpal talking about creating ads for each and every medium and not having the same sort of big idea, just have a big idea and put it across multiple points. We are not talking about that. We are talking about ensuring, trying to understand how the consumer is behaving with each of these media. The mindset is very different. When you're watching a lean back medium like television in the evening, you have a lean back attitude. If you're searching, for example, how to be a ninja or how to clear an interview, it's a very, very different mindset. On your mobile itself, you have different mindsets. And understanding that mindset is very important, because what you're going to put as context in that mindset is very, very important. So it's not only the creative, it's very important to understand that mindset. I haven't seen in recent years creative agency putting a lot of ideas or putting a lot of energy to understand that.
People talk about 30-second commercial is dead, and I heard a lot of clients yesterday talking about 30-second commercial is dead. People are not interested in advertising. Doordarshan days were fantastic, but you know, Doordarshan days were abnormal because content was poor. Let's not think those days were normal. Actually, there was something abnormal about content of that time. The content was so boring that time that ads became more interesting. But that's not a normal. A normal society, life will be more interesting and advertising will be less interesting. You will have to find ways of enticing the consumer. You will have to always find ways. So let's not find Doordarshan days as the yardstick and compare ourselves with those days and say that those days people used to watch commercials. These days they are not watching commercials. I think we'll have to redefine what advertising does. Selling refrigerator to an Eskimo is not the reality of today. I want to question the manufacturers today. I want to question the intent they have. If you're saying people are not interested in advertising, I want to go into the garb of entertainment, content. Tomorrow they'll find out that you are in the garb of entertainment and they'll start disliking that also. What will you do then? The question is, today's consumer has posed a new reality in front of us. And that new reality is that they are connected. They want to know the intention correctly. They want to know you are adding value to their lives. They are not interested in your smartness that they don't need listen, an Eskimo does not need a refrigerator. There is nothing great about it. Let's stop taking pride in selling Eskimo a refrigerator. And let's not, media fragmentation tell us that, when you are telling him buy a refrigerator in an igloo, he can't realize that. Probably when he comes down to the mandi, then you should sell him. Or when he is sitting with his friends, then you should sell him. The fact is, he does not need it. And in today's realities, Eskimos are connected and they are talking to each other. वो Eskimos से बोला यार मुझे भी आया था बेचने, क्यों बेच रहे यार हमको ये लोग, क्यों हमको बेवकूफ समझते क्या? हाँ यार हमको बेवकूफ समझते हैं. The fact is, they are connected today, and this is the new reality where they are talking to each other. A consumer is connected with another consumer, and that's where the intent of the marketer comes. Your product could have become irrelevant altogether, and you are not ready to realize that. And you're telling a creative agency that your ideas are not working. It's not that. It's not about fragmentation. It's about, are you adding value to the consumer's life?
I'll start off by actually again mounting this on the philosophy of what is it that a marketer wants today or a brand wants today. Without fail, in the conclave yesterday, which was all about listen to the client, each one of them said marketing and communication is about building my business. Let's not lose sight of that, because quite often we do. It is not arts for art's sake. It is for building the business, getting more people to consume more of your brand more often and more than any other brand. How do we do that? Now, idea in that particular thing, advertising idea is one of them. And I think even a little earlier, my colleague Nick Vale was talking about big ideas versus long ideas. You know, this entire piece about what exactly is a creative idea, it has to be more than just something which happens for a TV commercial around which you put a whole lot of integrated stuff. There has to be something more. It is like the Dove Real Beauty. That is a big idea which then travels across. And my submission is that the way we are moving right now with brand stewardship taking a backseat in creative agencies, which is regrettable because it is their domain, and just the creative execution of the big idea taking center stage, I fear today that this game, this domain of who's going to bring the brand idea is now being relinquished, and it's anybody's game. I'll give you an example. 20 years back when I was in Procter & Gamble, it was the creative idea was solely the domain of creative agencies. Just a few years back, and again there was a reference to that earlier today, the first speaker from BARC in the seminars, there was a media agency which came in with this entire campaign which said, should we start a debate between the clean shaven cheek or the stubble? And that idea in itself made for hugely business building stuff for Gillette. It goes on. Kisanpur is one such example which she couldn't talk about, where you're trying to 100% real. Now that's it's a claim which you've heard many times. But when you actually experience it in mass media through Times of India sampling of seeds, where you grow your own tomatoes and then after that get your bottle name on your name on the bottle, these are all examples where the idea has come from places other than the creative agencies and they become full-on campaigns. Axe Shower Gel, straight, another one, fantastic example. Look at it this way. Axe stands for seduction. Shower Gel, here you are in a tiny category which you can't spend money on. How do you get it more viral? You take an MTV VJ, through a combination of TV plus internet, you start creating viral stuff that is being kidnapped by some sexy women, some demands, shower gel happening, male fantasy, and the category is born.
Clearly very passionate points made by both parties, both sides. I'm sure you are developing some thoughts in your minds already, but before we open up some questions to the floor, I'd like to now request the gentleman on my left for the motion to do the closing.
Give me 10 examples of brands. I can give you 400 examples standing here of brands which have been built on central ideas. I want a few examples of brands which are built on data, brands which are built on analytics. The point is, even the Axe example that you're giving is built on a central idea of seduction. Since I'm very close to Axe,
which is coming from a media agency.
Seduction. Seduction.
No,
the central idea is seduction.
The launch campaign of a shower gel. You can ask the
Agreed.
See, that is the problem. The problem is that you are, I find it very strange that you are trying to say, कहाँ से आ रहा है? Is it a creative idea or not? अब creative वाले बंदे को मेरे आप अपने घर ले जाएं, बोले लता मंगेशकर मेरे घर ले
nobody is debating the importance of creativity. Creativity is very important. It is no longer any one person's preserve.
लता मंगेशकर अगर आपके घर में रहती है तो वो लता मंगेशकर ही रहती है ना.
Lot of people over here must have gone to marketing seminars and seen the key challenges a lot of marketers are facing. Is they want to have a role called a chief marketing technology officer because they feel they are finding themselves inept at not being able to handle all of this. And the last, of course, which Nitin also mentioned yesterday, is the importance of corporate social responsibility, because we said in an increasingly sticky world, it becomes very important people know what brands are belonging to which companies and what is the stance those companies are taking in the social area. These are the challenging, these are the areas that they are worried about. What didn't come out anywhere at all is the need for a clutter baking creative being one of the key challenges which the marketers are facing. That is a challenge which has been there always and continues to be there.
The CSR, corporate social responsibility, you must be aware that very recently there was a sustainability presentation to the Unilever board. Who all made the presentation?
That's not the point. The point is that these...
So that's the whole point.
So if that
is keep the agency, if that is keep the marketer awake at night, Where is he going for the solution? So the point is, the importance is increasing. Yeah, how the creative agencies are functioning, how they can function better. That's a point of another debate.
I think in summation, our point is one. If we have to build brands in an increasingly more challenged world where there is huge amount of proliferation, very little differentiation in the basic truths of the brand, at that point in time, yes, the role of an idea is, will be, and has been, will and continue to be very important. It is critical. Our only point is that the sole importance of that idea on advertising has now come down. The idea now can come from other places as well.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic points, gentlemen and lady. Fabulous. It's about the decision of who really was on the dot, on the topic with the right set of points they made. So now, can you see whether there is any changeover of audiences? I think the decision is out there. Everyone who's against it has won. Congratulations, Vikram and Anupriya, and congratulations, Prasun and Partha.